Children, let's continue with the second part of the chapter, Sources of History. Children, kindly open to your textbook page number 2. Today, we are going to begin with the subtopic Written Sources. What are written sources? Written sources are in the form of writings. Writings may be books, etc. So in the medieval period, there were various writing styles. So we learn about significant historical events in the medieval period from the sources like writing styles. What are writing styles? Now we have different writing way of writing. So that time also there were various writing styles. And scripts like Devanagari, Arabic, Persian, Modi, etc. So these are the various scripts, various different types of writings during the medieval period. From this we come to know about way of writing literature during that medieval period. As also from the varieties of different languages. We have different languages spoken now in India. So during that time there were different languages, and from those languages we come to know about the medieval period. Now we also come to know about the medieval period from Bhujapatras. What are Bhujapatras? Bhujapatras are the papers which are taken out from the bark of the tree. So the ancient people used to write on this Bhujapatras. Religious manuscripts, treaties, edicts, decrees, biographies, paintings, etc. So all these are called as written sources. We come to know or we gather information about the food, what the people used to eat that time, items, attire is nothing but the way of lifestyle and the way of wearing clothing, conventions and rules of conduct of the people, festivals and about people's life, etc. So all these things we come to know when we look at this sources, written sources. From these sources of this type are called as written sources of history. During this period, during the medieval period, travelers from other countries came to India. Now, who were these travelers? Travelers like Al-Biruni, Ibn Battuta, Nicolau Munucci. These were the travelers who came to India and traveled throughout India. And what they have done, what they have written a travelogue. Now what is a travelogue? Travelogue is something that is whenever you visit some place, some people have the habit of describing the things what they see. So travelogues are nothing but when these people came to India and they saw everything over here and they noted down, and this written material later on were used as written sources. So from their description we come to know how was India during that time, during the medieval period. Babur's biography Sri Shiva Bharat, or the Sanskrit biography of Shivaji Maharaj composed by Paramananda, as well as various other biographies of different rulers and their correspondents, help us to understand the policies and administrative systems of the rulers and their diplomatic relations with the others. Now what are biographies? Biography is nothing but a detailed account of the way of life of a person. For example, when we read the biography of Shivaji Maharaj, so we come to know about his administration, how he used to handle the people, how he used to manage the administration. All these things we come to know in the biographies. Now, Tariq or Tariq is one such written source of history. What is this Tariq or Tariq? Tariq means sequence of events. What is done in that Tariq is that various events are written down in the sequence. Sequence means one after the other. Tariqs written by. So these are the examples of Tariq. Various Tariqs are very famous. For example, Tariqs written by Al-Biruni, Ziauddin Barani, Maulana Ahmad, Yahya bin Ahmad, Mirza Haider, Bhimsen Saxena, etc. are available, through which we come to know about the various events in the sequence form. The Bakhar. Bakhar is another written source through which we come to know about medieval history. Bakhar is a type of chronicle which originated in Maharashtra. So this Bakhar originated in Maharashtra. Chronicles help in understanding aspects of like the contemporary political happenings, whatever is happening now. For example, newspapers. What do newspapers tell us? They tell us about the current situations happening or whatever is happening, activities happening in the state or throughout India. Bakhar also tells us linguistic transactions, cultural life, social conditions, etc. Many of the chronicles in Marathi were written many years after the events had occurred. Now earlier the people did not know to write. So later on, after the events had taken place, many years after that, these chronicles were started. As a result, they are seen to rely on hearsay. Now, what do you mean by hearsay? Hearsay is nothing but the people started chronicles, but that time the events had taken place many years ago. So whatever the people used to tell, they used to hear and they used to write. So that's why it is said that chronicles are seen to rely on hearsays. Some of these chronicles are माहिकवतेची बखर, सभासद बखर, चिटणीसाची बखर, भाऊसाहेबांची बखर, etc. So these are the examples of bakhars written during that time. The works of contemporary Western historians like Robert Arm, M.C. Springle and Grant Duff are also important. So these writers had contributed their share in the medieval history. So from these writings we come to know about the medieval India. Oral sources. Now what do you mean by the word oral? Oral means whatever we say or sing. We understand various aspects of folk literature or folk life through folk literature traditionally passed on from generation to generation. Some examples are ovis, folk songs, povadas, folk tales, legends and myths. Such type of sources are called oral sources of history. Now all these oral sources are traditionally passed from one generation to other generation. For example, your grandparents told the stories, sang the song, and they transmitted these stories to your parents. And now your parents are also telling you the same stories which happened thousands of years ago. So these are nothing but the oral sources, and they have been transformed through various generations. Now when you will be a parent, that time also you will tell these stories to your children. So like this, these oral sources are passed on from generation to generation. History is written with the help of these three types of sources mentioned above, that is written material sources, written sources and oral sources. Even after it has been written down, research on it goes on continuously and the new sources are added. New sources and information came to light through this research. The research is going on continuously. It does not stop. So more and more sources of history are gathered through this research. Then history has to be rewritten accordingly. We can see that our history books and those of our parents and grandparents differ to a certain extent. Now why do they differ? Because during that time the research was limited. Now the research is going on and it continues, and more sources are added and more information is added. So hence these books have to be redesigned and changed, and hence you can see the difference in the books, history books of those of your parents and your grandparents. Do you know the Povada of Tanaji? So given below is the extract. Extract means paragraph or stanza from a Povada composed by Tulsidas Shahir. He portrays the Kondhana campaign in it. The Povada contains beautiful character sketches of Tanaji, Shelar Mama, Shivaji Maharaj, Veer Mata Jijabai, etc. Now let us look at the Povada, the extract from the Povada of Tulsidas Shahir. So now we have seen the extract of the Povada of Tanaji. So this Povada gives which is composed by Tulsidas Shahir. He portrays the Kondhana campaign in it. The Povada contains beautiful characters, sketches of Tanaji, Shelar Mama, Shivaji Maharaj, Veer Mata Jijabai, etc. Now, can you suggest some ways through which we can preserve these sources of history? How we can preserve the sources of history? Here are some means through which we can preserve. These are my viewpoints. Your viewpoints may differ. We have to take proper care of the materials which are gifted to us by history. So whatever is there, for example, forts, temples, these all materials are there. We have to conserve it and preserve it. The oral sources can be recorded and preserved for our future generation. The written sources have to be handled with care. We should not tear the old books. We should keep it properly. Evaluating the sources of history. Now what do you mean by evaluating? Evaluating means to see whether they are correct or precise or relevant. It is necessary to take certain precautions before using these sources of history. We cannot use the sources of history as they are. We have to see whether they are correct or not. We have to examine their authenticity and see which are genuine and which are fake. Their quality can be determined with the help of internal standards. We also have to study the integrity of the writers, how the writer has written that sources, their personal interests, the period in which they live, and the political pressure on them. It is Also important to see whether they rely on hearsay or give an eyewitness account. Now some writers, what they do, they write on the hearsays, whatever the other people are saying. So you have to see whether it is on hearsay or whether the writer has eyewitnessed it or the writer has seen it. We need to consider the exaggerations, metaphors and other literary devices they use. The information has to be verified with the help of other contemporary sources. The information may be one-sided, contradictory or exaggerated. Exaggerated means taken out from somewhere. It has to be seen in a proper perspective. The sources have to be subjected to critical analysis. The author's impartiality and neutrality are very important writing history. Now when you look at the sources, you have to see whether the writer is partial or impartial. The writer should not be, there should not be impartiality in the writing. So here we have completed the chapter number 1, Sources of History.